Hey, babies. Hey, it's me, your girl, Candace. Welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Reviews. I'm your host, Candace. Again, I said that already, but I repeat myself a lot, so get used to it. In today's video, we're going to be discussing, we're going back to IAD, bro. We're going back to IAD. We are going to be breaking down Pleasure of a Dark Prince by Kresley Cole. This is book 9, allegedly, according to Amazon. If I'm wrong, don't come for me. I don't do any research. If you know me, you know this. Trolls, beware, okay? This is book 9, according to Amazon, in the Immortals After Dark series. This is a paranormal romance novel. It is part of a paranormal romance series. It is my favorite paranormal romance series ever, okay? This book has 452 pages. Does it feel like 452 pages when you're reading it? No. You can currently get it for your Kindle and Nook for the price of $7.99. You can get the mass market paperback for $6.79. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to spiel about it because it should go without saying at this point. Why the fuck would I spend $7.99 on a digital download if I can get the actual book with pages and ink and a beautiful cover for $6.79? Buy the book. Buy the book. I can't stress it enough. Like, unless you are exclusively e-reader person, buy the book. If you have bookshelves like I do, too many bookshelves and too many books, but you collect series or books that you really enjoy reading, just buy the book, because you're gonna fucking love the book, and then you're gonna have to buy it two times. It makes no sense. Okay. Anyway, you can get this book used on eBay for around $4, starting at $4 with free shipping. Whatever floats your boat. Okay. I will read you guys a blurb. We can break it down a little bit, because Kresley Cole's IAD series is chock full of different, like, ghouls and ghosties and goblins and creatures. So the world is very vast, and the plot is also quite vast. Kresley begins in one place and seamlessly segues into some other thing that's going on. And to an outsider who has not read the books, but is just like given like a diluted version of like what the thing is about, they might be like, oh my God, there's too much going on. I just can't. No. If you fucking start at the beginning of the series and you actually read the books, you will notice no gaps in transition from one plot line to the next. It is literally a tapestry of awesome. I gush. So I'm going to read you guys a blurb, and then we'll talk about it, because we always talk about it. Okay, so the blurb for this one has like that in bold font where it's like, oh, a dangerous beauty, ... right? And then it tells you like a little snippet, and then it does it again, and then another little snippet. So keep that in mind. A dangerous beauty. Lucia, and okay, here's the thing. When I read the book, I pronounced it Lucia. I think in the audio version and in the book itself, it does explain that everyone else calls her Lucia, but McReeve, who is the male protagonist in this book, has like a very heavy Scottish brogue, and he calls her Lucia. So she's cool with it, so you better be cool with it, okay? Because I'm going to call her Lucia. Lucia the Huntress, as mysterious as she is exquisite, She harbors secrets that threaten to destroy her and those she loves. Okay, bold font again. An uncontrollable need. Gareth McGreeve, Prince of the Lycae, the brutal Highland warrior who burns to finally claim this maddeningly sensual creature as his own. More bold font. That lead to pleasure so wicked. From the shadows, Gareth has long watched over Lucia. Now, the only way to keep the proud huntress safe from harm is to convince her to accept him as her guardian. To do this, Gareth will ruthlessly exploit Lucia's greatest weakness, her wanton desire for him. I love the word wanton. Like, it's just like a classier way of saying like, oh, you slut. Like, she's so wanton. Okay, so the blurb does not give much away, but there's a lot of plot going on in this book. And behind this plot is a lot of subplot. Okay. Here we go. The two main characters for this book are Lucia and Gareth McGreeve. Okay. Lucia is a Valkyrie. She, like most Valkyries, or like all Valkyries, she has technically like three parents. She has Woden and Freya, who are gods, who essentially find mortal women dying on the battlefield, like warrior women, and they're dying, and they save their lives, and they strike them with lightning and save their lives and bring them to Valhalla, where they give birth to a daughter. A daughter who is half Valkyrie and half whatever the birth mother's parentage was, right? Like whatever her breed or her, not breed, whatever her species is, or what faction, whatever. So a lot of the Valkyries who live in the Coven in New Orleans, where most of this series is centered around, they all are similar in the fact that they're warrior women, but they each possess like different characteristics that they inherited from their birth, their actual human birth mother, right? Lucia doesn't know what the other part of her was. She just knows that she's part Valkyrie and she's in Valhalla and she's there, right? Insert Regan. Regan was like her BFF in Valhalla. She was tricked into leaving Valhalla for like forever, because once you leave, you can't go back, right? So Lucia was tricked by what she thought was like a prince, like a fairy tale prince who's just so in love with her that you have to leave this place and come be my wife and be my whatever, right? Sweet talk, you know? No. The person thing that lures her out of Valhalla is a disgusting beastie named Kruak. Okay. Kruak is a disgusting, I said disgusting already, beastie, but I'm going to expound, okay? Rotting flesh, maggots, yuck. His visage, as you will, that he put on, like his front was like angelic looking, whatever. So she leaves. She is blinded by love and completes the ceremony, basically tying her to Kruak. She's now his wife. Out comes his real form. He's disgusting. He tortures her. He like eats her flesh. He basically he rapes her a bunch of times. He works her over. She's eventually like half saved by Regan, who follows her out of Valhalla, giving up everything that she had there because Lucia is her BFF. Okay. Regan at this time is only like 12. And so she leaves Valhalla very early and she goes to like try and save Lucia from Kruak. Lucia manages to break free. she's got nowhere to go. His lair is like on like a rock above like a whole bunch, like a river and whatever, right? So she jumps to get away from him. She breaks pretty much every bone in her body. But in her agony, Regan basically carries her to this goddess by the name of, what the hell is her name? Swarthy? Swarthy? Scavi. Okay. Scavi, who is a warrior woman herself, a goddess of the hunt. And she agrees to bequeath Lucia with this bow that will help her become the best archer in the world. In exchange, she must serve Scavi like forever. And like the commandments, one of the commandments of like her servitude is that she remain chaste. She's already given it up to Kruak against her will, so she's not a virgin. But she like takes a vow of celibacy from that point on. So fast forward blah, 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 years later, we're in New Orleans. New Orleans is home to a whole bunch of different factions of the lore, which is like the supernatural world that Kresley has created, including Valhall, which is where the Valkyries live. Lucia's there, Regan's there, they're getting into shenanigans, right? One of the terms of Scavi's bequeathment of her powers and saving Lucia's life is that every 500 years, when the accession hits, and the accession, I've talked about this in previous IAD videos, so I'll just like really quick. The accession is basically like an immortal culling of beings. It's like they battle it out to keep the population in control and to keep the tides of good and evil balanced. You know what I'm saying? So every 500 years at the accession time, Lucia, with the aid of Regan, treks to Kruak's lair to basically use her arrows to put him down for a dirt nap for another 500 years or to keep him from being able to exit his cave. Okay? We're coming up on an accession now. And Lucia knows because she has like nightmares that start shortly before Kruak rises around the accession time. So she's getting nightmares. So she knows it's almost time. Okay. So here we have now Gareth is in play, right? Gareth is what in the beginning of the book they believe to be the king of the Lycae. He used to just be the prince. His brother Lachlan was imprisoned by the vampire horde and tortured, and everyone except for Gareth believed he was dead. So Gareth naturally had to assume like the throne position, right, of ruler of the Lycae clan. Later on throughout the book, they do find out that Lachlan is alive, and Lachlan has now mated Emma, who is Lucia's niece. Part Valkyrie, part vampire, go figure. The thing I like about Kresley's IAD series is that all of the books, not all of them, but almost all of them, are taking place parallel to each other. So if you ended up reading one out of order, it's not the end of the world. You can always go back and read because they're all kind of running on the same timeline. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, this book takes place from this to this time and then this book picks up here and goes to there. You know what I'm saying? They're all happening at once. So while book 1 is taking place over here, book 2 is taking place over here, and book 3 is taking place over here. And it's like in the background merging all of these events and matings and pairings and whatever that will eventually culminate into a bigger plot. Okay, right? So, Gareth has waited a long time for his fated mate. He recognizes his fated mate to be Lucia. He decides that after like a brief sexual encounter where they just kind of like fondled each other and whatever in like the bayou swamps, gross, he realizes that she's not gonna give it up, right? He can't claim her right now. He has to be patient with her. By this time, Lachlan is alive. He knows Lachlan's alive. Lachlan is cautioning him to be patient with Lucia because he wasn't patient with Emma, and it cost him a lot of time and energy and whatever. So Gareth says, okay, I don't know what Lucia's deal is. She's getting ready to traipse off. She's been told by Nyx, who is Nyx. I don't even know where to begin with Nyx. Nyx is a Valkyrie soothsayer. She sees the future, the present, what's going on in the present, and what will happen in the future more than she can see the past. So she's essentially like their fortune teller for the lore, like the fortune. She's like the oldest of her like Valkyrie type species, like her other part, and she is a soothsayer without equal, right? She's on the verge of like goddessdom because she's so old and because she's so ever knowing. She's also batshit crazy, in like a very endearing way, and like I need her book to come out, but at the same time I don't want her book to come out because I don't want to be let down. And I know once she has a story, and maybe at the end of that story she's not so nutsos, like we're gonna lose that fun-loving, bat-toting Nyx that we've all come to know and love, right? But at the same time, I want it because I want to know, like, who does she get with and what's going to happen. So Nyx is essentially single-handedly steering the earthbound realm type, whatever, of the accession. She's doing what she can, pulling strings behind the scenes to pair up certain people so that certain factions of the lore align with each other, so that when like a final type battle does come, the right players are on the right side. Does that make sense? So Lucia has been told by Nyx, you're going to have to ditch Regan and you're going to go by yourself to face Kruok. But I've been told that there's a possible weapon that can like kill him forever. He's like unkillable basically. So now there's this thing in play called a Dumor, which are like, they're basically called god killers, and they're weapons that can be used to kill deities. So Lucia goes on the hunt. She's in the Amazon. She's being followed by Gareth, who is basically following her and protecting her behind her back and like slaying her enemies and stuff for her, which is so romantic. And she's like, leave me alone, stop chasing me. But low-key, she wants to get caught because, you know. So they end up on a boat of really shifty characters, like very, it's like a mishmash of people, like humans and Lorians alike, who are like disguised as humans. And they're traipsing down the Amazon River on their way to a final destination that is where the Dumor is. The Dumor is located in a crypt. Inside the crypt is what the little clues they get along the way basically lead to what they think is El Dorado. El Dorado is not really El Dorado. El Dorado is La Dorada, who is a being. Basically like a queen sorceress. She's like the sorceress of gold and the sorceress of like the queen of evil. She's entombed in this crypt, and they're like, take nothing. Like she's like warned by Nyx, like don't touch anything because you're gonna wake her up and then she's gonna be pissed. Little do they know that another being, who is Lothair, the enemy of old, a very ancient vampire who is both mad and really, really intelligent. He's a vampire who drinks directly from the flesh, so his eyes are red. And he's been, over the course of his very long life, creating essentially a tally, like a black book type tally, of creatures in the lore who owe him favors. And he's planning on calling all of those in at some point. he has been following them to the crypt where he swipes at the last minute when they find the Dumore, and he's like low-key swipes a ring off of La Dorada's finger, and booby traps ensue, and they have to like run out of there really fast. And essentially this entire book reminded me of like Tomb Raider, but like a hot, sexy Tomb Raider, not like Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider. Even though I didn't really hate those movies, but at the same time, it's like, no, I don't want to picture Lucy as like Angelina Jolie. But like it has that feel. It's very like treasure hunter, you know, adventure type feel as opposed to like a regular paranormal romance, whatever. So yeah. So they do find the Dumore. By this time, she's decided that she's going to give it up to Gareth. They have sex. She thinks that she's lost her shooting power right before she has to face Kruok with the God Killer arrow. And what's she going to do? Like, she doesn't have her aim is true. Like, before, when she first acquired her power, Scavi gave it to her on the condition that if she missed a shot, she would feel indescribable pain. And that lesson over time made her into a supreme huntress, like a supreme archer. So when she gives it up to Gareth, she thinks that she's lost her abilities to shoot, but really she hasn't, because she's been honing them for the last 1,000 years without knowing it. Does that make sense? When she does finally realize she still has her powers, her and Gareth team up to go, like, get Kruok. But after they each try and double cross the other, like, he wants to go and kill Kruok without her to save her, and she knows that she's the archer and she has to use the Dumore and she has to go battle Kruok. And it's like a who can screw over who first, right, type situation. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the basis of this book. The next book in the series, I believe it's called Demon from the Dark or something like that. I forget the exact name, but it's Caro's story. Caro is a witch from the House of Witches. She's best friends with Mariquetta the Awaited, who is mated to Bowen McReeve, which is Gareth's cousin. And their book is several videos back. You can go check that out. I forget what the name of it is. Wicked Deeds on a Winter's Night or something like that. But yeah, so okay. So Caro's book is going to segue us from individual storylines into one massive plot that's happening behind the scenes, or that's gonna like open up and broaden. And then like 4 or 5 books from now, it's gonna open up into an even broader plot that will blow your fucking head off. Okay? Like, I can't I don't know how I'm gonna explain the books that are coming up coherently whatsoever, because they're just so plot heavy that I want to tell you everything, but at the same time, I know I can't, because I'll be here for like 2 hours and nobody's going to fucking watch me for 2 hours. But yeah, just get it. Get all of them. Buy all of them. There's like 17, 18 books. I threw my paper. Just buy them all. Just buy them all. You're going to freak out. That's what Charlotte says. My daughter is 4. And she literally says, Mom, if you buy me this, I will freak out. And the first time she said that, I was like, where the fuck did you learn that from? I've never said that. YouTube. YouTube is the devil. As I upload this video to YouTube, I say that. Okay, anyway, for the rating for the book, I gave it a solid 9, because while I do love and really enjoy every single book in this series, I have to leave a little like wiggle room for like my faves. to get a higher rating, because I need you to know which ones I was obsessed with so that we can bond over our mutual obsession. And that's how you make lifelong friends. It's like people who like the same bands or like the same music or bond over the same artist. Like, I find a kindred spirit in a person who likes the same author that I do and who has that same, like, spazzy, right? You're my person. You're my person. So yeah, I think that's it. Am I done? That's a basic 40-minute review of the book. I mean, I don't know. If you like me and you like my channel, please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, because I'm really trying. Like, I'm trying here. Am I failing? I don't know. I'm trying. If you would like, you can leave me a comment. I love getting comments. I love responding to all my comments. I love hearing from you guys. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell so you get notifications when I put up a new video. I also give sneak peeks, and I do giveaways sometimes on my social media pages. You can follow me on social media. You can follow me on social media if you'd like. You can follow me on social media if you'd like. I do have a members only Facebook group, an Instagram, and a Twitter devoted to this channel. If you'd like, you can follow me. I would really appreciate it. I'll link them all in the description box below, and I'll put a banner on the screen for you guys to see. And I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think I've chewed your ear off enough, okay? I really appreciate you guys watching another video. If you're new here, I really appreciate you taking this time out of your busy life. You wasted it, but I thank you. I really appreciate you. I will see you guys in my next video, which I don't know what it's going to be about, but we'll see. I love you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Okay? I love you. Bye! All of my thumbnails are so ridiculous and contrived. Okay. Okay. Make sure I'm not bleeding eyeliner. That'd be good. Okay. So, my hair is orange now. It's like a lovely copper color. It has washed out significantly from what it was when I first dyed it. When I first dyed it, I look like a fucking fire engine. You may also notice that I have a new background or backdrop or whatever the YouTube influencers want to call it. I don't know. It's like a foresty, lit up foresty tree. Anyway, where am I? What are we doing? What are we doing? IAD? IAD. Okay. Okay. This book has no. Brutal Highland warrior who burns to finally claim his maddeningly sensual creature of his own. No. No. You fucked that up, Candace. You were trying too hard to be like, you fucked it up. The brutal Highland warrior who burns to finally claim this maddening, why can't I say that word? Bye. Did you hear that? My fucking wrist just cracked. Bye. Okay. IAD. I didn't do the one fucking book that I needed to do. I haven't reviewed the one fucking book, the oldest one. You know why I haven't done it? Because I forgot. I already forgot the plot. Like, I'm so far behind reviews that I've forgotten the plot of the books that I've read. Like, I need to do this one. But and even though I just read it, like, 2 weeks ago, I can't remember what happened. And even though I have a paper here that has the plot, I still can't remember what happened. We'll come back to that because I have to do it at some point. I just can't fuck off with it. I've got to do it. We'll see how floundery I am. It'll make for good blooper reel anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I gotta go. I love you guys so much. remote that doesn't work.